This is the sixth trend, and that is sharing. This trend is really special because it can be assumed as a socialism or communism because everything is shared by everybody. But it doesn't have the bad parts of those things because it is not controlled by anyone. The government or any government controls the sharing that is happening right now. For example, let's think about Wikipedia. Wikipedia was made by a lot of people sharing information, collectiveness information, in order to create a product and a service that is available for everyone. So that collaboration level, it is really important to understand that it is going to take us to some places that we don't even know. And there are 4 levels of sharing, and let's talk about them. The first one is sharing, and that is the communal engagement that will drive everything. That is the main part of everything that is happening, is that people are willing to share. We share with everybody anytime. Our photos, our information, whatever we are doing, we share freely, and people and companies are using that information among themselves. So that is our nature, to share. The second one is cooperation, moving to a large goal together. With all the sharing, but if we organize that for a goal, for a common goal, then the magic starts to happen. The third level is collaboration, and that means organized cooperation. And think about Linux and Apache, softwares that were made by a lot of people everywhere. So those softwares are free for everybody, and they are more and more gaining access or gaining market share because people are improving the softwares among themselves. So that level of collaboration is really, really happening. And the fourth level is collectiveness. And that means that we will own everything by everybody. So nobody owns the information, nobody owns the software, everybody owns everything. And that level of sharing, that level of collectiveness is going to happen. The seventh trend is filtering. A lot of information and things are created every year. 190 billion tweets, 8 million songs, 2 million books, 30 billion blogs. How do we filter, or how do we get access to the information that we need and we want? It is really complicated. So there are 8 aspects on how things or information is filtered. The first one, by gatekeepers. Those are the authorities that have the control of the information that gets to you. For example, the government. 3, curators. Curators are people that try to figure out what is best for the people to see or watch. For example, in a museum, not everything is displayed. There are a lot of things that are stored in the warehouse, but the curators understand what it is needed for the museum to expose. And fourth is the brand, because if you are familiar with some product or service and you know that it is good, your mind will filter similar products or services because they are not the brand that you know. The government as a filter. There are places where the government chooses what can be said or not said, and chooses what to say to the public. And sixth is cultural, and those are the social expectations that we as a society put for ourselves. 7, our friends, because it is important for us what they think or the experience that they had, and sometimes we will choose something or other because of the recommendation of one of our friends. And 8, of course, ourselves, because based on our experience or cultural background or education, we choose to do or not to do something, to buy or to buy another thing. So now that all that information is available and free for us, how do we filter what it is important? And we will see that commodities are going to be there, and we are not going to put attention or to use our time, our valuable time, to go through commodities. So we are going to go to experiences, because experiences cannot be commodities. And that is the way the new market is going to behave. Our full attention will be put in the experience and in the personalized ways our vendors or services are being sold. Because if that is personalized for me, then it's an experience, and then I am willing to pay whatever it takes. Let's talk about the eighth trend, and that is remixing. And I will read you a phrase. Real sustainable economic growth does not stem from new resources, but from existing resources that are rearranged to make them more valuable. From Paul Ballmer, an economist in New York University. What that means is that all the mix that is happening is going to be, or it creates the value of the existing things. So, if we are able to remix the things, ideas, or processes that we have, sustainability happens. And the important thing here is that there is going to be a mix between text, sound, and motion. Everything that we do will have redo or undo or go backwards and things like that. And then, as you are not afraid to make a mistake because you can do that, the experience, or you can do the thing again, then creativity and innovation starts to flow. Think about the gamers, for example. They can recreate or redo the specific path of that game again, over and over and again. But also they can watch whatever they did before to understand what can they do better in order to get through that process. So for now, there is one thing that has not been done, and that is to read the pixels of an image. Later, when that is available within AI or something like that, everything will change, because we will be mixing or remixing everything together, the text, the sound, and the video. And then you will be able, for example, to find a specific passage in a movie or a specific words that are not written. So, in 30 years, the most influential cultural topics will be those that have been mixed together in order to create something different. Now, number 9, interacting. Virtual reality is the digital world accessible for us. Augmented reality is the physical world that is better for us through technology. VR and AR are going to give us the interaction that we need in order to create and to interact with everything that is around us. During the 80s, VR was invented, but the technology was not that powerful to put in place the computing necessary to have a real VR. But also the hardware was not available. So mobile changed everything, because technology went to innovate and find better ways to create screens for the mobile phones. And that helped a lot in algorithms and hardware in order to VR be available for everybody. Additionally, we will have sensors in all of our body, and that will interact with the environment and with other people and with machines. So interacting is going to be one of the ways to live. We are going to interact with everything, either we like it or not. Also, every product needs to be interactive, because in 30 years, something that do not respond to you is broken. Number 10, tracking. We, as humans, are designed to see and track everything that is outside us. But it is really difficult for us to track what happens inside us. So all the information that happens within us can be tracked now. For example, we are tracking body, movement, interaction, and interests. Something that is happening right now, it's called live stream. And those are things that we track, information that we track from ourselves, where do we went, our body information, with who we interact and things like that, that create a live stream that can be and will be shared with everybody. So we will know our past, our present, and our future, and everything will be interactively linked and organized in a different way, in a different manner that we are used to. Some applications for this is, for example, monitoring our vital information. So we will know or we know how many hours have we slept, or for example, our breath, our heart rate, or our oxygen, or our potassium, whatever. So we know if we are healthy or not every time. And that is something that we will tell us if we are moving off the charts. Another thing is the passive archive. And that means that everything that you produce, a text, a video, or a sound, whatever, it's logged and it is recorded somewhere. Then you will have access to everything that you've done. Phone calls, emails, human interaction, purchasing, or whatever you've done, you will know where, when, and what. Really easy. By this year, 2020, 60 billions of sensors are being produced around the world. So you can imagine all those 60 billions of sensors linked together every year. Additionally, there is an exponential growth of information about you and your environment that you will interact and track with. Let's talk about number 11, and that is questioning. And I love this one because the information is already there. So the important thing is to ask the right questions at the right time. If the questions are intelligent or smart, they do not have a right or a specific answer right away. Things have to be rethinked, and good questions create another question. And that is the seed for science, art, and business. If we can access to every bit of information that is there in the world, in our hand, with our mobile, what is the important thing? To question what we need. And as there are a lot of truths in this world, we will start questioning ourselves which is the truth that we want to understand. In this year, there is the pandemic situation with COVID, and all the information is there. So what is the truth? Whatever you are reading in social media, or whatever you are reading in other, or listening or seeing in other aspects, or the things that somebody tells you, so you struggle to find the truth. So you need to ask the right questions to the right person at the right time. And Kelly says that this is going to be the last thing that machines learn to do. It is probably why we as humans exist. Let's talk about the last one, number 12. And it's beginning. Because what Kevin says in his book is that we are starting to begin. We are starting to be. This moment of convergence will be known as the exact moment of the new beginning of the new era. We are creating a super machine, and that is every human being connected, sharing, and having all the information accessible for them. And that robot or super machine is going to rule the world in the future. This super machine is called Holos, and it will continue with the same trend from the last 30 years into the next 30 years. And that is, and I will read them, flowing, sharing, tracking, accessing, interacting, screening, remixing, filtering, cognifying, questioning, and of course, becoming. And as he says in his book, the beginning is just beginning. Thank you for watching this Bookio. Please remember to like, to comment, and to follow. And also, please share to your friends and to everybody that you know that loves to read. See you later. Bye now.